Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be ranking the Doctor's companions from the modern era. I'm still in the process of making my way through Classic Who, so once I've gotten through a good chunk of that, I'll make a similar video. Okay, so taking the 13th spot is Dan Lewis. Dan was set up as a one-series companion, and it was obvious I felt from the outset. He was often secondary to the plots of the chaotic Flux, and as a result, I felt he was very underdeveloped. Don't get me wrong, he had good moments, and that was mostly down to John Bishop's natural flair, but the scripts didn't serve him well in my opinion. I did, however, really enjoy his debut episode in the Halloween Apocalypse. I thought that was really solid, and I felt we learned a lot about the sort of person Dan was in that episode. We learned that he was selfless, giving, and cheeky. These were good traits, but unfortunately they were barely explored in later episodes. I also found his departure in The Power of the Doctor to be underwhelming. He often just felt like a replacement to Graham, which is a shame. In 12th spot, unfortunately, is Belinda Chandra. Now this pains me because she had such a good introduction similar to Dan. She was strong and firm in her boundaries, and she challenged the Doctor. I honestly thought she would be one of the top companions just from the robot revolution alone, but unfortunately by Lux, I felt she was quickly reduced to the stereotypical companion archetype. And this checks out given some statements by the guest writers who didn't know who the companion was at the time of writing their respective episodes. Belinda had great potential, but quickly succumbed to uninspired writing. Okay, in 11th spot, this'll ruffle some feathers, Ryan Sinclair. I know people will be confused as to why he's higher than Belinda, but very simply put, I feel there was more explored with Ryan. His rocky relationship with his step-granddad Graham and his scenes with his dad in Resolution overall made him feel more fleshed out in my opinion. Also, I feel his final episode served his character really well. This wasn't the Ryan we were introduced to in The Woman Who Fell to Earth. There was definite growth, even if it was subtle. I also liked that he ended where we first met him, learning to ride his bike. Despite all the positives I've just listed, I did feel his line delivery was often flat. After watching Supercell, I very quickly came to the conclusion that this was more to do with the writing and direction of Ryan's character more than anything. Okay, now making our way to the top 10, this was a close one, but I chose Graham for the number 10 spot. Now, Graham is a very popular character within the Jodie Whittaker era, and I totally can see why. He's funny, wise, and caring to everyone he meets. He's very Wilfred Mott-coded, and I say that with the utmost praise. Just like Belinda and Dan, I thought Graham had the makings of a great character. His backstory of his cancer diagnosis and how he met his late wife Grace made him feel very grounded. I enjoyed this approach. I also felt for him when Ryan was pushing him away in early Series 11. However, I felt like he was often reduced to just the comic relief character. After his arc was Ryan had wrapped, I felt he was often swept under the rug, and more so just part of the ensemble team of companions. Again, it was wasted potential, but Bradley Walsh did a great job. Okay, taking the 9th spot, oh boy, this will be controversial, Yasmin Khan. Now, when it comes to Yaz, it's a strange one. She was often underused and most times swept aside, especially in Series 11. However, I really enjoy Mandip Gill's presence. Out of Ryan and Graham, Yaz feels like she should be the primary companion in my opinion. She's consistent, but the reason she's this low is due to her lack of significant storylines. It was only in later Series 12 and 13 that she was better used, but even then she felt flat most times. She had glimpses of excellence, and with the right focus, she would have been a lot higher on this list. Okay, in the number 8 spot, Ruby Sunday. Ruby is another strange case. She definitely had flashes of greatness, but I feel she was never given the opportunity to really step into the spotlight and show off. I enjoyed her in 73 Yards, and I thought she did a good job in leading that episode. Strangely, I like her better without the Doctor. I found her dynamic with 15 to be fairly one-note. There was never enough conflict or engaging scenes between them that made her stand out. I found her to be a better overall character in Season 2 or Series 15, whatever. Okay, taking the number 7th spot, Bill Potts. Now, when it comes to Bill, I often find myself forgetting about her in the grand scheme of all the companions. It's only when I go back to rewatch Series 10 that I remember how refreshing she is. I love the dynamic between Bill and the Doctor, and Pearl Mackie does a decent job, especially with it being one of her first main roles. I do wish that the ending of Bill turning into a Cyberman stayed intact. It felt so gruesome and unique to a companion, but that's just a gripe I have with her ending. Now in sixth place, just missing the top 5, Rory Williams. This may be controversial, but I often see Rory and Amy as a pair, but I find Amy to be the primary character between the two of them. Don't get me wrong, Rory is a great character and fits in the TARDIS team really well, but I don't think he particularly stands out. I do find him really endearing, though. Now, we make our way to the top 5. If you've made it this far into the video, drop a like and tell me down below who your top 5 companions are. Okay, taking the number 5 spot, Amy Pond. I thought long and hard about this one. In my opinion, Amy had one of the best introductions to a companion ever. The whole concept of her meeting the Doctor as a child was an interesting way to lead her first series. Very quickly, she proved herself as a strong and capable companion with real agency. She does lose a few brownie points in Series 7, however, but that's down to a few questionable writing choices that I feel make her feel a bit one-note at times. In fourth place, Martha Jones. In the scope of companions, I feel Martha often gets overlooked. At the time of her introduction, she was unfairly compared to the popular Rose. Many were unwilling to give her a chance, and I feel this is reflected through her story arc. It's a real underdog story. She more than proves herself throughout the course of Series 3, ultimately resulting in her saving the world in the finale. The only reason she misses the top 3 is I felt the constant pining after the Doctor got a bit old quite quickly, but I understand it was important to her arc. Okay, now we enter the top 3. Trust me, this was hard. Alright, let's begin. Taking the third spot, oh boy, this will be controversial, the wonderful Donna Noble. Now, before you come after me with your pitchforks, hear me out. There is no denying that Donna is an iconic companion. She is everything the ultimate companion should be. She's strong, caring, and loyal to boot, with a big heart, and her ending in Series 4 was one of the most heartbreaking conclusions in the show. The only reason she isn't higher isn't to do with Donna herself, it's to do with the logistics of bringing her back for the 60th anniversary specials. Don't get me wrong, she was great in those episodes, but I do feel it takes away from her impactful ending. Okay, in the second spot, it's the brilliant Clara Oswald. Now, I really went back and forth on whether to place Clara in the top spot or not, but I settled on second place. I really love Clara as a character. She's strong, opinionated, and never scared to challenge the Doctor. There is a certain maturity there that makes her so interesting and complex. Admittedly, in Series 7, I did feel she fell into the stereotypical companion archetype trope, but by Series 8, the character of Clara truly flourished. Her dynamic with Peter Capaldi is one of the best in my opinion. Jenna Coleman is truly a terrific actor, and she more than delivers every time. Okay, for those that follow my Instagram at whoniversal_, it will come to absolutely no one's surprise that Rose Tyler is my number 1 companion. Years have gone by and I still feel the love. I love that she is the one who helps the Doctor face his trauma of the Time War. It also helps that I love the majority of her episodes that she's in. Rose in Series 1 especially is unmatched in my opinion. The writing and the performance click so well. She's grounded, and the performance of Billie Piper is so good. She never overplays anything. I definitely enjoy her dynamic with Christopher Eccleston better because I feel there is more push and pull there. There is a tension and a freshness, but her dynamic with David Tennant is also very good. I loved her explosive ending, kinda, in Doomsday, and Billie Piper puts in the performance of a lifetime. And that, ladies and gentlemen, and variations thereupon, concludes my ranking of all the modern companions. If you enjoyed this video, please drop me a like and comment below your personal ranking. If you want more content like this, then subscribe to the channel for daily Doctor Who content.